Hello, I'm Dan Gookin. Welcome to PC Maintenance and Performance Fundamentals. Yes, it's that old topic, maintenance, that thing you know you're supposed to do, but probably avoid. The good news is that maintaining a PC is pretty simple. You don't have to change any filters, deal with messy liquids, or trim the computer's toenails. The better news is that when you maintain your PC, you see a boost in performance. The two go together, and the end result is a computer system that runs well, and you get the full worth of your technology investment. In this course, I review some simple items in Windows you can check or configure that handle the maintenance task and confirm that your system is running at peak performance. Now it's time to get started exploring PC maintenance and performance fundamentals.
Your Windows account requires a sign-in password. It keeps your account secure and your data safe. Further, your Windows account is associated with a security level, Administrator, or Standard. To review your account's security level, open the Settings app, press the Windows I keyboard shortcut, choose Accounts, and here you see My Account on this system. The account name is shown here, which is blurred out because it's an email address, and the user level is Administrator. This is the highest and most privileged account level. The other account level is Standard, which still lets you use the computer, but you must type an administrator password to access features that change system-wide settings. That's how security works. Standard users can use the computer for productivity purposes, but they can't install new applications, update software, or make modifications to the Windows operating system. A location that offers more account control is the old Control Panel. Press the Windows E keyboard shortcut to bring up a File Explorer window and choose Control Panel from the address bar right up here. Choose User Accounts, User Accounts. These shield icons flag items, settings in Windows that require an elevated security level. They serve as a warning and as a reminder about potential changes to the system. An administrator-level user can access these items directly, but a user with a standard account, if they click on a shield icon, they must type in an administrator password to continue. Choose Change Your Account Type. Here you see how to reset between standard and administrator-level accounts. Now, the primary account on the system must be an administrator level, but other accounts on the computer can be standard level accounts. For example, if you wanted a higher level of security, you could configure a second standard level account for yourself, though that's really going a bit too far unless you just don't trust yourself. To increase the security notices, you can modify the user account control settings. Click this item here. This slider icon reflects how frequently you will be bothered with the UAC warnings. You can choose the top level to increase notifications. I don't recommend that you set the lowest level. I believe this option is provided as a reply to people who don't like any warnings whatsoever, but the warnings do serve a purpose. For example, if you set the top level, which I'll do right here, and you click OK, see the shield icon? You see the user account control warning. Do you want to make this change? This is a reminder that you're about to alter a setting that affects all accounts on the entire system. I'm going to click no because I do not want this level of security. It would be extremely bothersome. Higher levels of account security can be applied, but typically this type of security is a policy set by a large organization's IT department. For individuals using Windows, setting security is important, but there's nothing to be gained if you overdo it. To actively fight the bad guys, you need to look out for malware or malicious software. It's a job you must take seriously, and to do so, visit the Windows Security Center. Tap the Windows key to bring up the Start menu, and type the word Security until you see this item, Windows Security. Choose it. This app serves as a central location for all security issues on your computer. A green checkmark ensures that the item selected is active and working to protect your computer. If not, you see it flagged with a yellow warning icon. And if you see one of those, well, open the item and then read whatever information is there to tell you what to do next to reaffirm the security. Further, pending security alerts will appear as a notification icon on the taskbar. Keep an eye out for that notification as well. For malware and antivirus control, choose Virus and Threat Protection. Here you see that no threats have been found. This is good. Yet, if you have an immediate concern, click the Quick Scan button to perform a quick scan of the computer and check for signs of infection. The scan takes a while to process. And I'm good, but if you still suspect something, you can click the Scan Options button, and you can choose to do a full scan of the computer, which takes more time, but it does go into more details. On the main Virus and Threat Protection screen, below the Virus and Threat Protection Settings item, choose Manage Settings. Ensure that real-time protection is active. This setting means that the Microsoft Defender antivirus program is always looking for threats. It's a good thing. Exclusions are items that may falsely trigger a positive for a virus, but you know that the file is safe. For example, you run a program and you know it to be safe, but Windows reports it as malware. If so, you can choose the Add an Exclusion button and select the file, folder, file type, or process to add so that Windows Defender Antivirus will not scan it or flag it as a virus. Now, don't do this unless some authority has directed you to do so, such as an IT professional or someone you trust. Don't follow the advice of some random page on the internet to do this, which could lead to a lot of trouble. And that's the final point that's most important. The reason computer malware is successful today is due to something called social engineering. Malware infects computers because people are tricked into compromising their computer's security. The bad guys are adept at fooling you into lowering your defenses. You disable the antivirus software, you open an unknown email attachment, or you click a link without thinking. Doing so compromises your computer's security. And the bad guys use social engineering because it works. To combat it, you must be diligent. Do not open unexpected email attachments. Do not click links in email messages. Instead, open your browser and visit the website directly. Ensure that you're visiting the proper website when you do. The address shown should match what you expect. And don't be too quick to click on that yes prompt in a UAC or firewall warning. Windows Defender can keep your computer safe from infection and disaster, but to be successful, you must be its active partner. Another tool to fight the bad guys is a firewall. It works to monitor and regulate traffic between your computer and the internet. The firewall ensures that information coming in was asked for and that information going out has permission to leave. This process isn't noticeable until something unexpected attempts to access your computer or the internet. Then you can choose whether to grant or deny permission. That's the point of a firewall. Your network router may have firewall protection, but so does Windows. It's called Windows Firewall, and it's on by default. To review the firewall settings, you open the Windows Security Center. Pop up the Start menu and type the word Security until you see this item, Windows Security App. Choose it. Select Firewall and Network Protection. Again, even though your network may have a router with its own firewall, do not disable any of these items. To peruse which programs are allowed through the firewall, choose Allow an App through the firewall. You see a list of programs that communicate with the internet. This list includes the web browser, email, cloud storage apps, internet utilities such as FTP, as well as multiplayer games. You can add a program to the list manually, but instead I recommend that you just wait until you see the firewall warning. For more advanced firewall settings, click the link Advanced Settings. If you're prompted with a UAC warning, click the Yes button. This is the Firewall Management Console. It helps you create specific firewall rules, which is a technical thing, so I don't recommend that you mess around here unless you've been directed by tech support or an IT professional. A firewall warning appears when a program not on the list requests information from the internet. I've written such a program that I'll run here just so you can see what the warning looks like. Your choice is to allow access or to block. Now, if you recognize what program is running, such as a game or some type of internet access, you can choose to allow access. But when you don't recognize the program or the warning is completely unexpected, choose Cancel to deny access. Like all good computer tools, the firewall does its job without much interference from you. It pops up when needed, but beyond that, you can rest assured that it's working and helping to keep your computer system safe. You want to be safe on the internet? Be smart. It's tough because no matter how high your IQ, humans are emotional beings. We're easily manipulated into doing things that are not smart. To help you be smart on the internet, I offer these suggestions. Use secure passwords for your accounts, confirm that you're visiting the correct website, and review all download options. For online passwords, ensure that each site has a unique, secure password. The password need not be a mishmash of jumbled characters, but you must heed the site's password requirements. Avoid common passwords or passwords you've used before. These are easy to guess. A jumbled text password isn't any better than this useful suggestion. Combine a string of words together, separated by numbers or symbols. Add a single capital letter. For example, learning with a capital L, _1294, asterisk, groceries, lowercase. This type of password is easier to remember and it's easier to type. It's also just as difficult for someone else to guess as those random, jumbled passwords. To help remember your passwords, write them down, the website, your account name, and the password. Keep the list handy, but not obvious. A technique used by security experts is to hide in plain sight. For example, you can write down your passwords in a book on a specific page, and out of context, no one knows what it means, but it's available if you need it. To avoid a phishing scam, ensure that you're signing in to the proper website. Phishing is a technique whereby the bad guys fool you into visiting a phony website. There, because it looks right, you unwittingly submit your account name and password, or even more secure information such as your bank account number. To help you avoid a phishing scam, you can use the Windows Smart Screen tool. Pop up the Start menu and type Security, or as much of it as necessary to choose this item, Windows Security App. In the Windows Security App screen, choose App and Browser Control. Choose Reputation-Based Protection Settings. Now ensure that these items are on. You especially want to ensure that Check Apps and Files is on, as well as the two Smart Screen items. Though these tools are active, you must remain diligent when you visit any website, especially if you arrived there by clicking a link in an email message. Finally, if you're going to download software from the internet, ensure that you're on the developer's own site, if it's available. Check the web browser's address bar to confirm the site. Also, click the correct download button. Avoid deceptive or misleading download buttons, graphics, and advertising. Uncheck any optional items, such as web search helpers, shopping assistance, toolbars, and so on. Even then, you're not done. When you run the installation program, pay attention to the prompts. Avoid options to install online shopping helpers, toolbars, search engines. You get the idea. The bottom line is to be smart. Pay attention and read the screen. And be careful what you click. If you do all that, you should be fine. The data encryption tool in Windows 10 is called BitLocker. You can apply this encryption to any media attached to your PC. And start by opening a File Explorer window like this one. Press the Windows E keyboard shortcut and navigate to the This PC window so that you can see drives physically attached to your computer. Select the drive you want to encrypt. I'll choose this drive here, which is the thumb drive. Choose the Manage Drive Tools tab, BitLocker, turn on BitLocker. The BitLocker utility examines the drive, and you first choose to apply a password. This is very important, so I recommend selecting this step, and type the password twice just as you're used to. The Smart Card option works when you have a smart card and your PC features a smart card reader. Otherwise, click the Next button. Microsoft recognizes that people lose passwords, so here are 3 recovery options. I choose to print mine, though I also wrote down the password, which is something I suggest you do regardless. By the way, what's saved and printed here is a recovery key, not the password itself. The hard copy shows a 32-bit identifier and a 48-digit recovery key. Store this piece of paper in a secure location, click the Next button. Now choose the first option for a new or empty storage device. Select the second if the media already contains data. Now this thumb drive is not empty, so I'm going to choose the second option, which will take a little bit longer, but I want to keep everything on the drive. Now if you plan on sharing the media with an older PC, one that doesn't run Windows 10, choose the compatibility mode option. Otherwise, and especially for internal hard drives, you can choose the new encryption mode. Click the Next button. And then when you're ready to go and have some time to spend, click the Start Encrypting button. Depending on the size of the drive and the amount of material stored, this process can take quite a while, and I'm talking hours. You can do something else on your computer while this activity takes place, but it will consume an amount of time. When encryption is done, you see the message, "Encryption is complete." Click Close. Now see the BitLocker padlock icon on the drive's icon? This is your clue that the drive is encrypted. Now I can access it now, but let me eject it and then reinsert it. The drive is locked. You can't access the media unless you know the password. Double-click the drive and type the password. The drive is decrypted and its contents are now available. Now, with the drive still selected, I'm going to choose Drive Manage Tools, BitLocker, Manage BitLocker. Use this screen should you want to remove BitLocker protection on the drive. Click the drive, and then you can click this link, Turn off BitLocker. On many systems, Drive C comes with BitLocker encryption already applied, as shown here. Otherwise, you can encrypt Drive C at this location. You look for a link, turn on BitLocker, and then follow the on-screen directions. Internal storage devices are decrypted automatically when you sign into Windows. Otherwise, when you attach the drive, you decrypt it with the password as shown earlier. At the top of the list for PC security and maintenance is Backup. It's the name of a program and a process well, more of a duty, that all computer users should perform, yet it's woefully neglected. You access the backup utilities in Windows 10 by opening the Settings app. Press the Windows I keyboard shortcut, choose Update and Security, and Backup. If backup is already configured, right about here you're going to see a toggle, either on or off, to ensure that backup is on. Make sure that it's on, and you're good to go. Otherwise, you see what's shown here and Add a Drive button. For backup and file history to work, you need either an external drive or a network drive. You cannot back up to the computer's primary storage on drive C. So click the Add a Drive button to scan for available storage. And here you see two drives available, a network drive as well as this external drive I just attached. Now this drive stores about 1 terabyte of information. That's perfect. This computer's hard drive is a 250 gigabyte drive, so all the data will safely fit on this drive. I will choose it. And that's it. This is how the screen looks when backup and file history are configured and active. But we're not done. Choose More Options. 2 items you might want to review are when to back up the files and how long to keep the backups. For a desktop computer, an every hour backup is great, but for a laptop, you might want to choose daily. Otherwise, the backup program will keep bugging you to attach the external backup drive, and that doesn't really work well for a laptop. So on a laptop, choose daily. Otherwise, every hour is fine on a desktop, and select the option to keep your backups forever. Now you can choose until space is needed, but as long as the backup drive has plenty of room, forever is a great option. The backup program will back up files stored in these folders. If there are any other folders you want to use on your computer, say you want to back up your program files, choose Add a Folder, and then select from Drive C the folders you want to back up. So maybe Program Files, and I'll add the second compatible one, Program Files x86, and make sure these 2 folders are backed up as well, so that if I need to restore the computer to the state it was in, I can recover my program files as well, though often reinstalling those files from the install programs is a better option. Now because we just configured backup here, no backup has been done. Your next job is to click the Backup Now button so that the first initial backup takes place and your data begins to save. By the way, information here can always be checked to confirm that backup is working and to check the time or date of the last backup. That's your assurance that backup and file history are functioning and really you have nothing else to do. Third-party backup utilities are also available for Windows, though they cost money, either for the software directly or in the case of cloud backup as a subscription fee. Many people do prefer cloud backup because it's more reliable than an external hard drive, which can fail. Cloud backup is available anywhere you can access the internet, which also makes it ideal for laptop computers. Most PCs keep a recovery copy of Windows on a special partition located on the primary storage device. To confirm, open the Disk Management console. Tap the Windows key, type Computer Management, or as much as necessary to choose this item, Computer Management App. In the Computer Management window, under Storage, choose Disk Management. Here you see Disk 0. This is the PC's primary storage device, and it shows 3 partitions. The first partition is EFI, which stores the boot configuration program. Next comes Drive C, which is Windows' primary storage media, holding Windows, your programs, and all your files and folders. And finally, the recovery partition is accessed through the Windows Recovery menu, a special startup screen that helps troubleshoot and repair Windows 10. Don't worry if you don't see a recovery partition. You can create a backup recovery partition on external storage, which I recommend you do even when a recovery partition exists here on the primary storage device. So to create the system image, you need external storage. The system image can occupy up to 150 gigabytes of space, so that's the amount of free space you need on external media, which can be the computer's backup drive, a thumb drive, or network storage. With the external storage attached to the computer, open the Settings app, press the Windows I keyboard shortcut, choose Update and Security, Backup, choose More Options, scroll to the bottom of the Backup Options screen, and choose See Advanced Settings. Now don't worry about all these steps. This is a process you go through only once. Choose the item System Image Backup, and then here, create a system image. Windows is going to hunt for an external drive, which it finds right here. This is the drive I attached earlier, and it has plenty of space. Click the Next button. Here you see the items that will be copied or backed up to external storage, the EFI partition, the system part of Drive C, and the Windows Recovery environment. The storage required for these items is 68 gigabytes, and I have plenty of storage on the external drive. I may proceed. Here's a warning that appears if you have BitLocker encryption. The backup drive will not have encryption, so make sure you store it in a secure location. To proceed, click the Start Backup button. The process takes a while to complete, though you can continue using the computer while the system image file is created. Now, I'm not going to wait for it because it can take quite a while. Once the process is complete, you will see a prompt to create a system repair disk. I recommend that you do so. Click the Yes button and follow the directions on the screen to create the system repair disk. Now, keep the system image media and repair disk handy to help restore and recover information should anything happen to the PC's primary storage device. Backup means nothing unless you can restore a file from a backup archive. And that's the whole point. The backup is a safety copy. When you need that safety copy, you restore the file from the backup media. The Windows 10 Backup and File History feature provides two ways to recover a group of files or an individual file. You can restore older versions of a file, which is the File History feature in action, or you can recover files and folders that were accidentally deleted and cannot otherwise be recovered. Remember, this feature works only when Windows Backup, the File History feature, is active. Here is how you would recover an older version of a file using File History. So this file has been recently changed and I want an older version back. Right-click on the file and choose Restore Previous Versions. Here you see a list of older files that have been backed up with File History. You see the backup date and time. Now, File History isn't active, or say the file is on cloud storage. The list is empty, which is another reason to activate File History. So select the version of the file you want to restore. If you're uncertain as to which version to use, click the Open button, and a temporary copy of the file is opened in the program where you can confirm that it's the one you want, but the file isn't restored. To restore the file and recover it for your use, you click the Restore button. And you see several options. Replace the file in the destination replaces the current file with the older one. Skip this file does nothing, and Compare Info allows you to check out details on both files. Now, granted, these details are nerdy, but still, say I want to keep both of these versions. If so, I'm going to check both boxes and click the Continue button. And here you see both versions of the file, the original, as well as the one that was restored with File History. It has a suffix, to in parentheses. Now I have both files and I can do whatever was necessary for me to recover the older version. You can use this method to restore folders, though a better way is to use the Restore feature found in the Windows Backup program. To get to it, tap the Windows key and type File History and choose this item, Restore your files with File History. These are files and folders on the backup drive, organized by date. You can use these buttons to peruse various dates. To restore an item, you locate it in this window just as if you were browsing in a File Explorer window. For example, I can open up Documents and then go to my Work folder. And here I can see files that were backed up on June 12th. To restore an item, you select it and then click the big green Restore button. The file is immediately restored unless a copy of it is already on the drive, as we saw earlier. In that case, you can use the Replace or Skip dialog box as you proceed to keep duplicate copies of files as they're restored. Now, I don't need to restore anything here, but one unique feature that's available in this window is the capability to recover a file that's completely gone. So in that case, you can't use File History. Instead, you must come here, and you need to know the time when the old file was available, browse to that date, and then you can recover the file, use the Restore button right here, and you'll get your file back, all thanks to the brilliance of Windows Backup and File History. Assuming that the computer's primary hard drive is still viable, here are the steps to take to restore your computer's software after a disaster. Start the computer from a system repair disk. This is a disk you must create specific to your computer as covered elsewhere in this course. From the Windows Recovery menu, you choose the option to restore the system image. Once restored, start the PC to run and configure Windows, which includes configuration of your account. Once completed, use the Windows Backup program to restore your personal files. Finally, you restore and reinstall your programs. At this point, the system is recovered to the state when the last backup took place. Key to this operation is booting from the system repair disk, which is a thumb drive or other external storage you created earlier. To boot from this disk, you need to access your computer's startup menu. Press a special key such as F12 when the system first starts, although each manufacturer uses their own startup menu key. When you see the boot menu, you choose the storage device to use, the one with the Windows Recovery volume. The system recovery disk starts, and you proceed with setting up Windows, following the on-screen prompt. Eventually, you create your account just as you did when Windows was first configured. Eventually, you see this menu or one that looks similar. Choose Troubleshoot. Advanced Options. And look for System Image Recovery. It may be on the More Recovery Options menu as shown here. There it is. At this point, you would choose this item, which I'm not going to do now, and work through the prompts to recover the system. Because I don't need to recover the system, I'll back out and I'll continue to start Windows normally. During the recovery process, you configure Windows to set up and sign into your account, which you can assume I've already done here. At this point, you proceed with recovering your personal files. Ensure that the computer's backup drive is attached and available. Open the Settings app, press the Windows I keyboard shortcut, choose Update and Security, Backup, and more options, and scroll down to choose the item Restore Files from a Current Backup. What you want to do is get to this screen. Now, if you can't get to this screen directly, you can get to it through the Start menu. I'll close it again. Tap the Start menu and type Restore Files and choose Restore Files with File History. This is a second way to get there in case the first way doesn't yield good results. Now on this screen, you want to find the most recent backup, which right here is June 13th, 2021. You select everything and then click the big green Restore button, which I'm not going to do here because I don't need to restore files. The system is already fine, but in a real recovery operation, you would proceed with restoring all data from the backup drive to the PC's primary storage device. This process will take some time, but when it's complete, your files are back to the date of the last backup, which again is June 13th, 2021 for this computer. Remember, system recovery and file backup works only when you first configure these options. Look elsewhere in this course for more details. Beyond antivirus, strong passwords, and backup, another key part of your computer's security strategy is Windows Update. You must maintain the operating system. This process involves the Windows Update service, and this service is always running on your computer. To confirm, you can open the Settings app in Windows 10, press the Windows I keyboard shortcut, and then choose Update and Security. This screen informs me that Windows is up to date. It last checked in with the Microsoft mothership at, well, today at about 1:30 in the afternoon. This means I'm good to go. There is an optional quality update available. I can choose to install this if I like. Otherwise, regular updates are downloaded and installed automatically. And unlike older versions of Windows, you cannot refuse or opt out of an update, well, unless it's optional. But you can, however, schedule an update. To schedule, you can click the item Change Active Hours. Now, this sets the range of hours in which you actively use the computer. For example, 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the evening is typically when I use this system. If I were to use it at a different time, I can click the Change button, set a new start time and end time, and this will ensure that Windows does not automatically restart my computer to apply an update during those hours. Whether I'm at my computer or away, those are the times an update will not be installed. Windows will still download the update, but it waits until the time you specified to install the updates and then automatically restart the system. If an update is pending, you can always restart manually. This Check for Updates button changes to read Restart Now. And if so, and if you have the time, you can click the button to apply the update. An option may also appear right over here that lets you schedule the restart. If so, you can use that option to set a time when you're able to pause your work and update the system. It is possible to defer some updates. The Pause Updates for 7 days button will hibernate Windows updates for a week, which is a great option to choose when you take your laptop on the road. More specific pauses are also possible. You can choose Advanced Options. And at the bottom of the screen, you can choose Select a Date to choose a specific date on which you'd like the updates to resume. This feature will delay only non-security updates. Windows Update will still install critical updates even when all of these options are set. Not every program is updated via the Windows Update service. For example, if you subscribe to Microsoft Office 365, it runs its own update service, which happens automatically. Other programs may also check for updates and bug you when an update is available. My advice: to keep your computer secure, always update. Windows updates are installed automatically. You can, and I do, manually check for and install an update. For example, with your laptop before you head to an area without internet access, or before I start a major project. By being proactive, I can allot time for the update and not stress about it when it shows up. Before checking for updates, ensure that you don't have any program windows open where documents are unsaved. In fact, go ahead and close any open program windows that may potentially interrupt the update process with unsaved documents. To proceed with a manual update, visit the Windows Update screen. Press the Windows I keyboard shortcut to bring up the Settings app, choose Update and Security, and then Windows Update, which is the default. If an update is pending, you see a Restart Now button here. You can click it to proceed with the update. Otherwise, you can click Check for Updates to see if an update is available. If so, it's downloaded and installed automatically. You can watch the progress on the screen, wait until it completes. Some updates are fast and some do take time. Some, such as these, don't require a restart, but many do. Whatever the case, be patient. These updates did not require a restart. If they did, this button would become Restart Now. You can click the button if you have time to restart. Otherwise, an option appears here to schedule the restart, in which case you can set a date and time. Though, if you do have the time now, which is the point of this exercise, click the Restart Now button and get the update over with. System updates may continue after the system restarts, sometimes requiring a second restart. Wait patiently until the process is complete. Don't turn off the computer or pound the keyboard, but you can curse if you like. After installing major updates, an update notification appears explaining the updates were installed and describing any new features and options, allowing you to enable them or try them out. It's my observation that Microsoft consistently distributes regular updates on specific days. Major updates come about once a month. Priority updates can come at any time, and they're automatically installed. This policy explains why you may find your computer has automatically restarted itself to install an update. Don't fret. The update was important and necessary. Otherwise, install updates as they arrive as part of your computer's security and maintenance regimen. Microsoft takes steps to ensure that Windows updates don't cause problems, but sometimes they do. When that happens, you can roll back a recent update. Start by opening the Settings app. Press the Windows I keyboard shortcut. Choose Update and Security, and then Windows Update, and View Update History. This list categorizes updates by type, features, quality, and so on. Updates are listed individually by the date installed, and you may find items in here beyond Windows updates depending on how Windows Update is configured. Here is update KB 5003637, and it was successfully installed on June 10th. It is at the top of the list, so it's the most recent update on this machine. Now, KB stands for Knowledge Base, and it's a database listing what Microsoft updates do. You can click this link to visit Microsoft's support webpage for this specific update. Here's the webpage supporting the update. Now you can check here to see if anyone is reporting any problems, so known issues with this update. And here are the list of symptoms and workarounds for known issues. Directions are available that can help you resolve an issue and get your PC back into running order. If so, then you don't need to roll back the update. Otherwise, when your issue isn't presented on this site and you continue to have the issue, you must remove or roll back the update. Before you roll back an update, save any files and close any open programs. That's because this process requires that you restart the computer, so just get this step out of the way now. Click the item Uninstall Updates. The control panel version of the uninstall list appears, which is far more detailed. You want to scroll over to the Installed On column. I'll assume that the update you want to remove was installed recently. Otherwise, you must cross-reference the KB number from the other screen to this one. For example, there's the number we just reviewed a couple of seconds ago, 53637. You select the update you want to remove, and an uninstall button appears up here. If it doesn't appear, well, then you can't remove the update, which is why I recommend you check the Knowledge Base website described earlier. It lists any details that help you resolve your issue, or it explains that the update is a security update and it can't be rolled back. Otherwise, you click the uninstall button, obey the directions presented, and the computer will restart a few times to process the rollback. Hopefully, after the system restart, the problem introduced by the update goes away. If not, well, you have more troubleshooting to do. A more drastic solution is to restore Windows to a previous build. This task is done at the Windows Recovery menu, which you can access when the computer starts or from a system recovery disk. Even so, I recommend rolling back a Windows update as the first preferred course of action, which hopefully meets with success. All computers slow down over time, most likely because they keep doing so much. Sudden slowdowns, however, have a specific cause. The effect you see is a slower computer because resources are being consumed at a higher rate than usual. To find the culprit, you monitor system resources. In a computer system, the resources most directly associated with speed are the processor, memory, storage, network access, and GPU, the graphics processor unit. Other resources come into play, but when some program attempts to hog one or more of these items, you know about it quick. The first place to look for a system hog is the Task Manager. Press the Control-Shift-Escape keyboard shortcut. If you see the limited version of the Task Manager like this, click the More Details button. The Task Manager window contains a lot of detailed information. The Processes tab, shown here, lists every program running in your computer, including tasks run by background programs, Windows, and so on. In the table, you see columns representing the items I described earlier, so you have CPU, memory, disk, network, GPU, and even other items. This list is updated in real time, so you can observe activity as it happens. This list looks like the computer is really busy, but it's not really doing much. It's doing something, of course. Activity is constantly abuzz in the modern computer. Click the Performance tab to view each resource consumption graphically. So you have the CPU, memory, disk access, here's Wi-Fi, and the GPU. For even more details, you can click the Open Resource Monitor link down here. Now, you can't do anything in this program other than observe how resources are used and which processes, services, or programs are gobbling up resources. When you see a spike, that indicates that something exciting is happening. A plateau, however, indicates something that could be a resource hog. Back in the Task Manager on the Processes tab, I'm going to sort the list by CPU. And here you see the item that's using the most consumption of the CPU's time, ranked in order of consumption. So the top program is using the most. Now, in my experience, I've seen online updates, backup, or system indexing that suddenly grabs a lot of processor time. When these activities take place when you're not really using the system, you don't notice. But when they happen while you're doing something else, you may notice that performance suffers. Atop the memory column, you see that 59% of memory is being occupied by programs, and the disk and network activity is rather low. Then again, I'm not really experiencing any slowdowns on this system. If performance did begin to suffer, I would check this list to see what's going on, as well as check the Performance tab to see if there are any plateaus, sudden spikes, which indicates a resource hog. Especially if you recognize a program that is a resource hog, try to suspend it. For example, you can pause a download, you could postpone an update, or quit some program that appears to be overly greedy for some reason. You can also kill the task right here from the Task Manager. So you go back to the Processes tab and locate the task that may be consuming too many resources. Now, I don't have that here again, but say the notepad was just being a real hog right now and this number was getting higher and higher. To kill it, select the task and click the End Task button. Now, this button isn't magic. It links to the quit or exit command within the program, so it's really nothing sneaky or advanced. But it does have more muscle to kill stubborn programs that otherwise would refuse to quit. And Notepad is gone. Especially when the suspect program is consuming a lot of resources. You can try to kill it off here in the Task Manager, and you might be successful. When this approach doesn't work, the program could be malicious. If so, use your anti-spyware software, which is designed to fully remove the infection and eliminate the problem. The ReadyBoost utility is a combination hardware and software that can improve your computer's performance. Use a media card or thumb drive to put a little pep into your PC. And it works only with hard drives, not with the newer solid-state drives or hybrid drives. In fact, this is the media that needs ReadyBoost the most. To make ReadyBoost work, you need a dedicated media card or thumb drive. It can't be used for anything else. The media's capacity must be at least 256 megabytes, though it can go up to 32 gigabytes. The higher the capacity, the better. I recommend using one of your PC's rear USB ports, which avoids the temptation to remove the thumb drive. Further, ensure that you use a USB 3.0 thumb drive connected to a USB 3.0 port. These ports are color-coded blue. You can activate ReadyBoost from the autoplay notification that appears when you first connect a thumb drive, though it's more effective to follow these steps. Press the Windows E keyboard shortcut to summon a File Explorer window such as this one, and ensure that you choose this PC from right here or up on the address bar. Right-click the thumb drive's icon or tile. Drive Gray, Drive E, is a thumb drive. Right-click and choose Properties. Here in Drive E's Properties dialog box, you see that the USB thumb drive has about 15 gigabytes worth of storage. It's not a lot, but it's good for ReadyBoost. Click the ReadyBoost tab. And here you see the disappointing news. This computer uses a hybrid drive, so ReadyBoost is unavailable, and that's actually good news. Otherwise, you would see an option titled Dedicate this device to ReadyBoost. You would choose that, and then click OK to get ReadyBoost up and running for this system. When ReadyBoost is active, the thumb drive's usage will appear red. Let me change the view to tile. And you see the capacity meter here. When ReadyBoost is being used, this capacity will be all the way up here and colored red. That's okay, don't get alarmed. The entire storage capacity is being used to speed up your computer. Nothing is wrong. As with all speed improvement techniques, you may not feel like you've just attached a rocket pack to the system. The performance improvement may be subtle. To improve performance further, you can add a second ReadyBoost drive. In fact, according to the Windows documentation, you can have up to 8 ReadyBoost drives attached to your PC. It seems a bit much. ReadyBoost keeps working as long as the drive is inserted. It's reactivated when you restart the computer, so once you configure it, you're pretty much done. To deactivate ReadyBoost, repeat the steps presented in this movie, choosing the option not to use the device in the Properties dialog box. In that case, you can restore the thumb drive back to its purpose, whatever it may be. To help fine-tune your PC's performance, Windows comes with a Performance Options dialog box. To view it, tap the Windows key and type the word Adjust, or as much of it as necessary, until you see this item, Adjust the appearance and performance of Windows. Choose it. The Performance Options dialog box has 3 tabs, and I confess, most of the settings are optimized, so you need not do anything. Still, when performance suffers, you can try to squeeze a bit more power from the system by turning off a few of these items on the Effects tab. In fact, you might be annoyed by these features, and turning them off just makes using Windows much more enjoyable. For example, this item here, Show Shadows under Windows. This setting taxes the PC's graphics processor a wee bit by adding this shadow underneath the window. I'll turn it off. Click the Apply button and watch the shadow, and it disappears. Bringing it back, there. Now, each of these settings in the list has a similar effect, but when you remove them all, you might see a small performance boost. Click the option Adjust for Best Performance, and you see that they all are disabled. This option's name is kind of a confession as to how useful these items are to your PC's core mission. The Advanced tab is home to 2 items. The first deals with processor scheduling, and 2 items are available. In my opinion, programs always deserve all the power, so this setting is okay. The second item is virtual memory, which was once one of those Windows secrets people would use to enhance system performance. A paging file is a helper. It works in situations when the computer lacks enough memory to get work done. This can happen in any PC, so to avoid it, a paging file is called in to help boost memory. And the problem with this trick is that performance suffers as memory is swapped back and forth to mass storage. A better way to address this situation is to add more memory to the computer, otherwise the preset value shown here is just fine. Finally, the Data Execution tab contains only one option, which is Activated, turn on DEP, and DEP is more of a security feature than a performance tool. It prevents programs from running in specific parts of memory, locations where viruses and malware like to launch from. Keeping this item on prevents all programs from starting in protected memory, and that's a good thing. I suppose it has to do with performance because malware and spyware definitely hinder the PC's performance. Review these items, experimenting with the settings. If you can eke out a bit more performance from your computer, the effort is worth it. I hope you enjoyed this course and learned a bit about keeping your computer well maintained and in top condition. At this point, you may desire to find more information to continue your learning process. I'm happy to help you. On this site, you can search for my courses on troubleshooting common PC issues, as well as courses on computer components and peripherals. Other courses are available as well, covering the topics of PC maintenance, troubleshooting, and repair. My book, Troubleshooting and Maintaining Your PC All-in-One for Dummies, goes into a lot of detail on keeping your computer happy and running smoothly. You can also visit my website, wombuli.com, for more information, including a blog you can search for specific topics of interest. I'm available on LinkedIn as Dan Gookin, Mad Genius. Check out my profile when you get a chance. I'm Dan Gookin. I wish you the best in keeping your PC happy and healthy. Your efforts go far toward improving human-technology relationships. Thanks for watching.